Hi there, my name is Dr. Doreen from Frimpong-Brago, and today I'd like to share some tips for effective conflict resolution. Have you ever had a hard time just articulating your needs or concerns in a conflict, or just difficulty engaging in a productive conversation with another person? As people, we may come across this challenge from time to time because conflict is a part of the human experience, but knowing how to navigate conflict can be a game changer. I'd like to share an approach today that was really introduced by Dr. John Gottman, who is a marriage therapist and focuses a lot of his work on improving communication, conflict resolution, and overall quality of the relationships among partners or couples. But I also feel like this approach can be really applicable to other relationships, such as that between a parent and a child, between friends, between co-workers or employers and employees. This intervention is referred to as a softened startup. This is a way of really expressing your needs or initiating a conversation in a way that is calm, respectful, and it also, at the same time, helps to reduce defensiveness in the person who is listening to you. The first tip with this approach is to save the conversation for a calm moment. And sometimes this can be hard because in those moments we're wanting our needs to be heard, we're wanting concerns to be addressed, right there and then. But it can be very important to step away and come back in a moment where you're less tired, less hungry, less overwhelmed, to really make sure that what you're expressing is being received well by the listener. A second tip in this approach of a softened startup is to really use a gentle tone of voice and body language. This means speaking calmly and gently, and also avoiding disrespectful body language such as eye rolling, right? And so it's really important to use a calm tone of voice, especially because you are able to mirror a similar emotional state of the listener when you are calm yourself, right? It really leads to a decrease in nervous system arousal, and also helps to the neurons in the brain of the listener to really fire at the same or similar rate as the tone of the speaker, right? And so overall just induces a sense of safety in the environment, and also makes sure that defenses are down, all the way down. So again, your message or your concern is heard clearly and received well. A third tip in this approach is the use of I statements, right? I statements usually focus on what the problem is, what the situation is, without blaming the other person. It really focuses on expressing your emotion and the situation that caused the emotion, and not on the other person who caused the situation. An example of an I statement is, I feel I am not as high on your list of priorities when we don't get to spend quality time together. So can we plan a hangout this weekend? On the flip side, where there isn't a use of I statement, it can sound more like, you never make time for me. You're a terrible person because you don't value me as a person and want to spend time with me. In this situation, it does blame the person, which may increase defensiveness, and it's less likely to express the actual need that is underneath the statement, right? And so you're wanting to make sure you're using I statements which clearly label the emotion, and also clearly state the situation that's influencing the emotion. A fourth idea for this approach of a softened startup is to be as specific as you can when stating the problem. For example, the statement that we used earlier, you can clearly hear that this person feels that they are not as prioritized. They don't feel like they're getting quality time with their partner. You hear exactly what the problem is. So it's really important to be as specific as you can and solve one problem at a time. It may not be the best time to introduce other problems when one hasn't yet been resolved. So really take your time. Once one is knocked out, you can bring the other problem and use these steps as we have talked about. A fifth idea is to be as respectful as you can with your requests or concerns. So rather than making a demand, you're really just expressing your needs in a way that is kind and respectful to the listener. So you're using phrases as would you please, or could you kindly, or I would appreciate if, right? And then it even sweetens the deal if you thank the person for listening or for addressing this problem with you. I hope this helps some future conversations or conflict resolutions, and I hope you stay well. Okay, bye bye.